Alice Cooper is the king of shock rock. Others took the shock a lot further than he did, but they just walked the streets he paved. And none had more taste, class, or art than Alice did. He was born Vincent Fernier. He had a very strange upbringing for a controversial rock star. His dad was a preacher, and though he never rejected his father's beliefs, he didn't take them at all seriously until many years later. He started a band with his high school pals. A lot of people mistakenly believe that Alice Cooper is just the man himself. The truth is, he was just the frontman to a band called the Alice Cooper Band. Though his bandmates were never as talented as he was, they had plenty of talent by themselves. They claim to have got the name from the ghost of a witch from a Ouija board. Most likely this is just a fishtail. The group's first albums, produced by eccentric rocker Frank Zappa, were basically a harder version of the psychedelia popular at the time. But Alice decided to take influence from the beloved horror films of his youth, and the band became a great fusion of hard rock, glam, and horror-themed art rock with a dash of raw garage rock. Their first album with the new style was Love It to Death, and it's a masterpiece. There are no bad albums in the Alice Cooper Band, and I'm especially fond of Love It to Death, Billion Dollar Babies, and Killer. The live show became a literal horror show, a freak show with heavy music. On one especially notorious concert, some fans threw a chicken onto the stage for some reason. Alice was a city slicker, and he just naturally assumed the thing would fly, so he tossed it back into the crowd, who savagely ripped the poor bird to pieces and threw it back at him. Rumors about the incident got around, and they mistakenly said that, among other things, Alice ripped the bird himself or bit its head off Aussie style. None of this was true. Alice was innocent, but he got a lot of publicity from the press, saying he was a lot worse than he was. On other concerts, he would end the show by getting killed, often by a guillotine or hanging, and there was also bloody baby dolls. Alice always had his tongue firmly in his cheek, and he loved a good joke. It wasn't his fault a lot of people took him too seriously. On two notorious songs, he featured necrophilia, those songs being the ghoulish Cold Ethel and the creepy I Love the Dead. A lot of times he used humorous schlock to talk about real, serious issues. For instance, his famous song Dead Babies. Many people who didn't actually hear the song figured he was just praising dead babies for shock value. But if you listen to the lyrics, you realize it's a song condemning child abuse and neglect. The song Only Women Bleed is often considered a childish song about women's menstrual cycle. The truth is, it's a pro-women song about how men often don't treat women right. The shows got more shocking, more outlandish, until the elaborate stage show got more press than the actual great music being played. There was friction between Alice and the band. They were getting tired of the outlandish stage shows and wanted to just go back to simple rock and roll, whereas Alice wanted to take things even further. And they were also jealous because, despite being talented themselves, Alice was always, understandably, the center of attention. They amicably split, and Alice officially went solo. Overall, his best work was with the band, but despite this, the first solo album, Welcome to My Nightmare, a concept album about the nightmarish world of a boy named Steven, to me is his best work. His stage show got even more elaborate, and he became really fond of one of the dancers he hired on stage. So much so that he married her, and they're still married to this day. But Alice became what his dad would call a prodigal son. He was always a drinker, but now things were getting out of control. He almost lost his life, his wife, and his career when he became a full-blown alcoholic, which led to one of his best solo albums, From the Inside, a terrific rock opera about his experience in a mental institution. Instead of checking into rehab, he went into an institution instead, because Alice never did anything conventionally. It didn't help, but he ended up making an awesome album about his experiences in the place, as well as some of his fellow inmates. A lot of the stories in the songs are true. He hit rock bottom. He was separated from his wife and was drinking himself to death until he listened to his Christian wife's urgings and went to church, and he turned to the God of his father. He became a devout, born-again Christian, and it saved his life and gave him the strength to leave the drink behind and embrace his family. These days, he's a devout family man who, despite his freaky stage image, is considered one of the nicest men in showbiz. but he never lost his edge. He always says that the real him and Alice were separate, and that the Alice persona took over during the drug years. He now says that Alice comes alive on stage, but leaves as soon as he's off the stage. And by the way, I got exposed to Alice for the first time when he did that awesome song in one of my favorite movies, Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, of which he contributed the soundtrack. It's called He's Back. He's the man behind the mask. Two of my favorite idols, Alice and Jason. And because of him, we have, among others, Kiss, Insane Clown Posse, Slipknot, Rob Zombie, The Misfits, and so many other great shock rock acts. Of course, we also have black metal and Marilyn Manson. We'll just forget about that, shall we? Long live the king of shock rock. Many imitated him, but none will ever equal him, and even less will surpass him.
I died, and I knew, in other words, I knew who Christ was, Jesus Christ was. And I was denying him because I was living my own life, and I was living my life without him. I knew that there had to either come a point where I either accepted Christ and started living that life, or if I died in this, I was in a lot of trouble. And that's what really motivated me.
What does that mean when you say accepting Christ? What does it mean to accept Christ?
Well, I don't think we accept Christ. I think we accept the fact that he accepts us, And I just got to a point of saying, I'm tired of this life. And I know that this is right. When people say, well, how do you know that? Put that into words, and I go, you can't put that into words. It's because God opens your eyes.
Okay, here's the thing. Do you like horror movies, cute dog videos, music including rock, rap, and classical, baseball, Star Wars, or DBZ? Well, come here to the Hillbilly Review channel, the only place you can find all that crap under one channel. Like and subscribe. I'm not too proud to beg. And if you only like one of those topics, go to one of my detailed playlists to find the topic you want. Let's get with it.